Okay, back with Hannah, and she's going to talk a little bit further about Drunk in the Rain. She was just finishing that up, and Zoom cut us off.
Yeah, so only other thing I wanted to mention with that one is I wanted to experiment with drums, drum sounds that were not in time, like they're not drumming, but it's like percussive elements that add texture. So in the climaxes of Drunk in the Rain, I just I like just did a bunch of recording of just like hitting the parts of the drums randomly. And then I made like 10 tracks and then blended them all together. And so it kind of just sounds like a little bit like a thunderstorm, but also just kind of like textural chaos with the percussion. And it's not overbearing, it's like still subtle, but I've never done that before. And I wanted to see how it would sound with my music. And so I thought that that was the appropriate song to kind of have that like rumbling, like incoherent percussive effect going on. So I'm glad I tried that out.
See, she's an audio engineer, right? Or you're working towards that?
Oh, I mean that's what I studied in college, and I do it with my music and stuff. But I'm not pursuing it as like a full-time career just because there aren't really opportunities in this area. There's not like studios hiring engineers. Like you can create a book for yourself, a book of clients, and then like rent spaces out. But to be like a full-time like hired engineer with like benefits and everything, you really got to live in like LA or Nashville or something. So it's just something I do on the side. Like I have a handful of clients that I record for and stuff, and I record for like the symphony, Skagit Symphony and stuff. So it's definitely like a muscle I keep exercised, but yeah, it's for right now it's just a like a hobby. So
All right, Easy to Love. And Tim joins you on this one. Talk a little
oh,
bit about that.
let me see. Let me reference my notes. Yeah, he played bass on this one. Yeah, this one's just kind of about like
Oh, yeah.
not not really like fitting in that well and having to kind of like adjust your personality to match the environment that you're in to like I have a job that it's a graphic designer job, but it's at a company that's now turned quite corporate. And so I just feel a lot of cognitive dissonance with like how I have to like mask myself and put on this charade of like this corporate person to get them to like me and want to give me a promotion or whatever. And it is I just feel a lot of like headbutting within myself to put on this charade for people when in reality, I'm this way that society doesn't always like. For example, I'm not good at eye contact in person, but I have to constantly think and force myself to like, am I smiling enough? Am I looking them in the eyes? Have I been looking too long? Have I been looking not long enough? What am I doing with my body? What are they thinking about what I'm doing with my body? Like
Mm.
just a lot of like neurodivergent stuff. And so this song's kind of just like a reflection on me kind of realizing things like that, and then um realizing like how exhausting it is to constantly be aware and like modifying yourself for the like acceptance of others. So this one was one that I was considering not putting on there just because I think it's one of my weaker like songwriting and like the melodies, and it's one of my weaker ones. I think it kind of reminds me of songs I would write back in college, but I figured it's about a topic that I think a lot of people can relate to, so I figured put it in. So
Definitely. And I commented that at the beginning, it sounds a little bit like Jim Croce's
oh
Take
yeah, that's right.
Bow.
Yeah.
Um, Not that, and I don't think you didn't know who he was, or did
Well,
you?
I when I looked him up, I
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, of course I know this song, but it's certainly not the era of music I would say
Yeah,
actively, consciously inspires me.
right.
But yeah. Well,
So,
the intro actually, like the intro riff on the guitar, I was trying to model that after the Civil Wars because the Civil
oh,
Wars,
okay.
they're not together anymore, but they would do a lot of like guitar work like that, and I've always loved their sound, so I was like, let me add another guitar riff because I feel like I lack on that sometimes, and so I was thinking of them when I was doing that. The rest of the song probably has nothing to do with the Civil Wars, but
Yeah.
that was like my hint at them in the beginning. So
All right. And then the last trick is what I do. Uh,
mhm.
yeah, what I do.
Yeah, so this one. this one kind of is loosely based on the theme of like if I lost Tim, if Tim lost his life, and what I would do to like try to get him back, like seances or like what, like just a loosely spooky theme of like
No,
if I
yeah,
lost him or if Tim lost me, what we would do for each other to try to find each other again or be with each other again,
great.
or just like how we would grieve and how we would like kind of descend into like grief. Um, and this one I put last because it's definitely the most experimental with like consistently changing time signatures between the verses and then the instrumentals, and then within the instrumentals it has an irregular time signature. I mean, it's like consistent but it's irregular, and then by the end it becomes inconsistent. So by the end I was just playing random two, then hold it five, then two, then three. Like I was doing it randomly when I was recording it, so there was no like written structure to it. And then I had Tim do the electric guitar for that one. So I think he sent like four tracks. So there was like a pure noise track, then there was some arpeggios, and then there was some um like tremolo, and there was a couple textures that I could work with, and they're mostly at the end, and then I have them build up, and by the end it kind of fizzles out, and then the noise comes up and it just like rises and does a harsh cutoff. um and I thought that that was just like kind of a, what's the word,
An
like an,
epic closer.
well, I wanted it to feel unresolved
Yeah.
and just like kind of a little shocking. um so I think that that was I was trying to challenge myself to do something a little more like out of the box than what I would normally do. So
Well, it's a brilliant album, and everyone hopefully will go out and at least give it a listen. I think once you listen to her sing, the intelligence behind what she's talked about this entire um, interview, she put a lot of time, effort, and created some incredible music that will challenge you, and that's good. We all need that. Um, are you involved with some other things on the side right now?
oh yeah. So Jeff Mack,
You mentioned a few,
yeah,
yeah.
we just uploaded his masters this past week, so just finalized it. The first single's coming out, I think, this coming week. And he's so good, but he had never like recorded and released anything before. So he has just this back catalog of amazing songs. So I heard him play at the Honeymoon open mic, and I was like, you need to record music. You're coming over to my house and we're recording an album for you. So I helped him with everything from all the tracking. I did all the arrangement. I played most of all the other stuff except for the guitar and vocals. And then Tim did a couple. He did what did he do? He did organ on one song, and I believe some of that faux pedal steel. He did some of that on another. But everything else was me and Jeff, and it's called Alder and Wire,
Okay.
and it's very good, and I think you're gonna like it. So that just wrapped up. I also just recorded Natural Israel. He's actually at the house right now recording a music video with Tim, but I recorded a Christmas song for him and did all the
Oh,
string
great.
arrangements and stuff. Um, and then I always just have a couple other like random clients that have me do string arrangements and recordings for them. And a lot of them are remote. They're people I've never met, but they found my stuff online or through Instagram or whatever. So I have a couple clients that just hire me for one-off projects and stuff like that for violin arrangements and stuff.
And I think you guys are coming to this holiday special, and right,
Mhm.
if I
I'm
remember
planning on it.
correctly,
Yeah.
yeah. And you're going to meet a lot of people there, and some people that'll surprise you. I'll tell you about one off camera here. Um, and then, are you already assembling? I know it's hard when you're trying to put out a brand
Hmm.
new album to talk about the next one, but at the same time, I know musicians are always working on new stuff.
Hmm.
Do you have a direction for the next album or a couple songs or too early?
Well, when I started assembling this one, I was I had a couple songs written and then I had a couple songs written of a different project. And so I had to like choose which one to pursue. And so I pursued this one. So I'll probably go back to the other after. And that one is like my first concept album. I'm attempting to take, I don't know if it'll be full length or if it'll be an EP, but I'm taking the songs from Les Mis and I'm like rewriting them as folk
Oh,
songs in like
oh,
my
wow.
style. So I'm either taking the song itself and taking a lot of the words and writing them in a new song using that like
French
the stuff,
Revolution.
yeah, like from the musical Les Mis, and or I'm like writing a new song based on the character. But so far the songs I've written now, it's just a few, like three. I'm taking the main themes from the song, taking some of the lyrics, rearranging them, putting it to a new melody, new chords and stuff, and making it into like a folk, you know,
Wow.
how like my songs sound. So it's super random. I don't know really where that came from. I think I was just thinking about I should do a concept album. I should do a concept album. What do I care about? And I love Les Mis. So I was like, I don't think anybody's done that before. Take Les Mis and make
Yeah.
put it into folk music. So I'm sure some people are going to think it's really sacrilegious and they're not going to like it, but
Oh,
maybe some
no.
people will like it. So we'll see.
I'll listen. I'm in.
It's really challenging to take pre-existing material and make it into something new without being too on the nose, too copying it, or
Yeah.
too different enough to where it's really difficult. So I've only got like two or three songs down. So but that's probably where I'm gonna slowly churn out the next one.
All right. Is
Yeah.
there anything else that I haven't talked about that you want to mention that we maybe skipped over?
Um, if you could maybe share the link to the pre-order on Washington's website for the record. Um,
Had that?
because we're like I said, we're dealing with some potential issues. We don't know if the records are going to be physically there for the release show. So it would be great if you want a record to just pre-order it now so that you can have one
Oh,
when they're eventually out. So I think that would be the announcement I have is pre-order it, just get yourself a copy secured, and then when the records are out, they'll be distributed.
I think I added that link to the list of links.
Okay, cool.
But when this gets all done later today, take another look. If I missed it, send me the link. I'll add it. But
Awesome.
I think I have that in your one of them. Either
Cool.
the social media links or the video. I think it's in the social media links.
Cool.
But take a look. And I'm not. It was really long, so I'm not sure if it's going to come out right. And we can fix that. We can always
Right.
fix it. All right.
Cool.
Anything else?
I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, Hannah, thank you very much. This has been wonderful. She's really spent a lot of time, and for good reason. This is an excellent album. Please get out there, give it a chance. And I think once you hear it, yeah, it might have a little darker side to it, but there are some really deep songs and moving, very moving songs, and with different sounds, different uh, instruments than you're probably used to hearing. So that's always good. It's always good for the mind. It's always good for everything. Give it a chance.
Well,
But
thanks so
thank you.
much for having me.
No, you're more than welcome.
Been a great host.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording here. We'll talk. But again, thank you. Hannah Wyatt, Sunday Cowboy, please get out there and get this. It's really good.